Greetings, Onion Slice, and brand new information has finally been shared about Resident Evil Requiem. We will know a little bit more about what the game is about, what to expect, and how it relates to the previous entries, especially in regards of Resident Evil 7 and 8. So, in a recent interview with Gameinformer, director Nakanishi and producer Masato Kumazawa have talked about Resident Evil 9 extensively. So, today, let's summarize what they've said. First of all, Resident Evil 9 is not part of a trilogy with Resident Evil 7 and 8. Resident Evil 7 and 8 were a duology. They focused on Ethan Winters' story. It was more family-oriented and a departure from the main story of Resident Evil. The story with Raccoon City and everything else that transpired after that. Resident Evil 9 is a return to the Raccoon City story, focusing on the aftermath. Resident Evil 9 is not only a return to Raccoon City, but also the approach of the series. The game feels familiar yet new. It takes a lot of things from Resident Evil 2 Remake. Another thing that is returning are zombies. The directors and producer actually emphasized on the fact that zombies are back, but with a twist. We will see the new generation of zombies and other creatures that they didn't want to spoil yet. Speaking of creatures, the director and producer confirmed that this is not Lisa Trevor. In a recent interview, they said, allegedly, that they may have reused some assets to showcase this monster, but the sounds themselves have no correlation to who the monster is. This monster is not Lisa Trevor, and they wanted to emphasize on the fact that this is a thing that you will have to find out throughout your adventure in the game.
Oh my god.
So, Resident Evil 9 sees the return of zombies, as well as brand new monsters, but we also see the return of green herbs, inventory management, and other familiar features that we know and love from the franchise. Now, these are not just simply copy and pasted zombies or copy and pasted features like combining herbs. These are brand new and redefined for Resident Evil Requiem, so don't think it's just reused assets. Next up, we have some talks about the first person and the third person camera perspective. Director Nakanishi emphasized that the game was made for first person, but we also see a brand new, unique way of experiencing the game in third person. They made it so the game is experienced differently in third person, to emphasize on the dread and danger that Grace truly is in. So she trips and falls while running away from enemies, and not to spoil it or anything, but the directors also said that even though you fall and trip, the enemies following you will actually be frozen by the game. They cannot catch you while you trip and fall. This is purely to immerse yourself and sort of give a more survival horror experience and to show what terrors Grace truly faces. But what about the game's title? Requiem works on multiple levels. It's about remembrance of the dead, from Melissa's murder to the countless victims of Raccoon City. But it's also a musical metaphor, a dark prelude to even greater terrors. Nakanishi stressed that while the game will be very scary, it isn't designed to be unbearably so, like some players felt with Resident Evil 7 Biohazard. Instead, Resident Evil Requiem is structured like a roller coaster. Moments of sheer terror, followed by exploration, puzzle solving, and, yes, combat, before plunging players back into horror. Personally, I think this is a step in the right direction. Resident Evil 9 does not feel like Resident Evil 7 or 8, it feels like its own thing. Of course, there are familiar things that I personally felt that were in line with what a modern Resident Evil game should feel like, but honestly, this is its own thing. It's a brand new experience that if you've stuck around for this long, you're probably going to enjoy. Believe me, I personally did. So far, what I've seen has been absolutely amazing. And don't worry, like I said before, it's not purely focused on you running away or hiding. It's not a hide and seek game, although there are parts where you might have to run. Finally, Nakanishi was clear. Requiem isn't part of a trilogy with 7 and Village. Those two formed a duology around Ethan Winters. Requiem is the start of something new, reconnecting with the series' core storyline and moving it forward. Family is still part of Grace's motivation though, but it's not the central theme. It's more about survival, legacy, and, most importantly, uncovering the truth. In short, Resident Evil Requiem looks to honor the series' history while evolving its horror design. It's a requiem for the dead of Raccoon City, and a chilling overture for whatever comes next.